Sometimes life feels like standing in the middle of a storm, surrounded by noise, chaos, and uncertainty. The wind howls, the rain pours, and it feels like everything familiar is slipping away. You try to hold on to something solid, but it feels like the ground beneath you is shifting. The pressure builds, the fears grow louder, and you wonder if you'll ever find a moment of calm again. It's exhausting, isn't it? Carrying the weight of expectations, fears, and unanswered questions. You put on a brave face, but inside, there's a part of you silently screaming, craving peace. Just a moment to breathe, to feel safe, to believe that everything will be okay. But what if I told you that peace isn't something you have to chase? It's not hiding on the other side of your problems or waiting for the storm to pass. Peace isn't the absence of chaos. It's the presence of something greater, something deeper, something unshakable. It's not about controlling everything around you. It's about finding an anchor within you. Even when the waves crash, even when the sky darkens, there's a stillness inside your soul that the storm can't touch. You may not feel it right now, but it's there. It's always been there. Imagine standing in the middle of that storm, but instead of fighting against the wind, you close your eyes. You take a deep breath. You let go, not giving up, but surrendering the illusion that you have to carry it all alone. In that simple act, something shifts. The storm doesn't disappear, but it loses its power over you. You realize that peace isn't found in perfect circumstances. It's found in the quiet confidence that no matter what happens around you, you are held. You are safe. You are enough. Life will always have its storms. Challenges will come, hearts will break, and uncertainty will knock on your door. But you don't have to be afraid of the storm. You don't have to wait for it to end to feel calm. Because peace isn't out there. It's in here, within you. It's the steady heartbeat beneath the noise, the soft whisper in the chaos, the gentle reminder that you are more than your fears, more than your struggles, more than your worst days. So the next time life feels overwhelming, pause. Don't run from the storm. Stand still, breathe, and remember, peace isn't the absence of trouble, it's the presence of faith. Faith that even in the darkest night, there's light. Faith that even in the strongest storm, there's calm. And faith that no matter how lost you feel, you are never truly lost. Because within you, there's a place the storm can't reach. A place of peace, waiting to be found. Peace isn't something fragile that shatters when life gets hard. It's not delicate, not fleeting. Real peace is resilient. It's the quiet strength that rises when everything else feels like it's falling apart. Maybe you've felt it before. Those moments when you thought you couldn't go on, when the weight was too heavy, the pain too deep. And yet somehow you made it through. Not because the storm disappeared, but because there was something inside you that didn't break. That's peace. Not the absence of struggle, but the presence of endurance, of hope, even when hope feels like a distant memory. But we often forget that, don't we? We believe peace will come when life is easier, when the problems are solved, when everything is in its place. But life isn't always neat. It's messy, complicated, unpredictable. If we wait for perfection to feel peace, we'll be waiting forever. The truth is, peace isn't waiting for you at some distant finish line. It's here, now, in the middle of it all. It's hidden in the small moments, the deep breath before you face the day, the quiet tear you wipe away when no one's looking, the heartbeat that keeps going even when you feel like giving up. You don't have to chase peace. You don't have to earn it. It's not a reward for having everything figured out. It's a gift, already within you, even if you can't feel it right now. Sometimes, the noise of life is so loud that it drowns out the quiet voice inside, the one that's been there all along, whispering, "You're okay, you're safe, you're enough." You don't need to silence the world to hear it. You just need to pause, to listen, not with your ears, but with your heart. It's in the space between thoughts, in the pause between breaths. In that sacred stillness, you'll find a truth that chaos can't touch. You are not your fears. You are not your anxiety. You are not the mistakes you've made or the storms you're facing. Beneath all of it, there's a version of you that is whole, unbroken, untouched by the noise. That's where peace lives, not outside of you, but within. So when life feels too loud, too heavy, too much, don't fight it. Don't run from it. Sit with it. Breathe through it. And remember, the storm may rage, but it doesn't get to define you, because you are more than the chaos. You are the calm within it. It's easy to believe that peace is something you have to find somewhere out there, hidden in quiet places far away from the noise. But peace isn't distant. It's not tucked away in some far-off corner of the world, waiting for you to stumble upon it. Peace isn't found in the absence of noise. It's discovered in the ability to be still within it. You could be surrounded by chaos, standing right in the middle of life's most overwhelming moments, and still feel a calmness that doesn't make sense. That's because peace isn't about what's happening around you. It's about what's happening inside you. Think about the ocean. On the surface, the waves can be wild and restless, crashing against each other with force. But if you dive deep beneath the surface, past the turbulence, there's a place where everything is still. No matter how fierce the storm is above, the depths remain calm, untouched. That's what peace is like. The surface of your life might feel chaotic, responsibilities piling up, relationships strained, fears creeping in. But deep within you, there's a part of you that remains steady, no matter how rough the waters get. You don't need to fight the waves. You don't need to control the storm. The real strength comes from learning how to sink into that stillness, to trust that it's there, even when you can't feel it right away. Sometimes, the bravest thing you can do isn't to keep pushing, but to pause, to breathe, to say, "I don't have to have it all figured out right now, and that's okay." It's in that surrender, not of giving up, but of letting go, that peace starts to rise. But it's not always easy, is it? We're taught to keep going, to stay strong, to fix everything. We believe that if we just try harder, we'll feel better. But peace doesn't come from effort. It comes from acceptance. Acceptance that life is messy, that not every question has an answer, that not every wound heals the way we expect. And yet, even in the mess, even in the unanswered questions, peace is possible. Not because life is perfect, but because you don't need perfection to feel whole. So when the world feels too loud, when your heart feels too heavy, when the waves seem too high, remember this. You are not just the person standing in the storm. You are the deep waters beneath, calm and steady, untouched by the chaos above. You don't have to find peace. It's already within you, waiting for you to come home. Sometimes the search for peace feels like chasing shadows, reaching out for something that always seems just beyond your grasp. You think, maybe when I finish this project, or maybe when life slows down, or maybe when I'm not so overwhelmed. But the truth is, peace isn't waiting for you in some distant future. It doesn't arrive when life becomes perfect. Peace is already here. It's not something you achieve. It's something you uncover, hidden beneath the layers of noise, fear, and endless striving. The problem is, we often look for peace in the wrong places. We try to find it in control, believing that if we can just manage every detail, nothing will go wrong. We search for it in success, thinking that accomplishments will quiet the restlessness inside. But control slips through our fingers, and success never feels as permanent as we hope. And when those things fail us, we're left wondering why we still feel empty, anxious, lost. But what if peace isn't something you find out there? What if it's already within you, steady and unshaken, just waiting to be noticed? It's not about changing your circumstances. It's about shifting your focus. Sometimes all it takes is a pause, a deep breath in the middle of the chaos, to remind yourself that peace isn't something fragile that breaks under pressure. It's something solid, something real, something that's always been a part of you, even when you didn't feel it. Think of it like the sky. No matter how dark the clouds get, the blue sky is still there behind them. The clouds don't make it disappear, they just cover it for a while. Your peace is the same. The stress, the fear, the noise, they're like clouds. They come and go, sometimes thick and heavy, but they can't erase what's always been there. You don't have to fight the clouds to find the sky. You just have to trust that it's still there. So when life feels overwhelming, don't tell yourself you'll find peace someday. Pause, breathe, and realize that even now, in the middle of it all, peace is not something you have to reach for. It's something you already carry within you. And that changes everything. There's a quiet strength in choosing peace, especially when the world feels like it's spinning out of control. It's not the kind of strength that shouts or demands attention. It's gentle, steady, and often unnoticed. But it's powerful, because it takes real courage to be still when everything around you is rushing. It takes faith to believe in calm when your heart is racing, when fear is knocking at the door, and the future feels uncertain. We're taught to fix things, to hustle harder, to solve every problem as fast as we can. But sometimes, peace doesn't come from doing more. Sometimes, peace comes from doing less. From letting go of the need to control every detail. From releasing the pressure to have all the answers. It's not about ignoring your struggles. It's about facing them with a heart that knows, this situation may be out of my hands, but I am not out of hope. Peace isn't passive. It's active. It's a choice you make over and over again, even when your mind is flooded with doubts. It's waking up in the morning, feeling the weight of everything you can't change, and deciding to breathe anyway, to trust anyway, to believe that somehow you'll find your way through, even if you don't see the path clearly right now. And when that choice feels hard, because it will, remember this. Peace doesn't mean you'll never feel anxious or afraid. It doesn't mean you'll never have bad days. It simply means that those feelings don't get the final word. They don't get to define you. Peace isn't the absence of struggle. It's the presence of resilience. It's the quiet belief that no matter how heavy life gets, there's a part of you that remains light. A part that still hopes, still dreams, still believes in better days. So when the world feels overwhelming, don't wait for peace to find you. Choose it. In small ways, in quiet moments. Choose it in the way you speak to yourself. Choose it in the way you let go of what you can't control. And know that even when it feels far away, peace is never gone. It's right there, waiting for you to notice it again. Peace isn't a destination you reach when life finally aligns, when the noise fades, or when all your questions are answered. It's not something waiting on the horizon, tucked away in some perfect future. Peace is here, now, woven into the very fabric of who you are. It's not dependent on your circumstances. It exists beyond them, untouched by the chaos, unshaken by the storms. You may not feel it all the time. There will be days when the weight of the world feels too heavy, when your heart aches and your mind won't quiet down. That's okay. Peace doesn't mean the absence of struggle. It means knowing that even in the middle of the struggle, there's a steady ground beneath your feet, a quiet place within you where fear doesn't have the final say, where hope still breathes, and where love whispers, you are safe. It's easy to forget that when life is loud, but you can always return to it. In a deep breath, in a moment of stillness, in the simple act of letting go, not of giving up, but of releasing the need to control what was never yours to carry. Peace comes in the pause between the noise, in the space where you choose trust over fear, surrender over struggle. And here's the beautiful truth. Peace isn't something you have to earn. You don't have to be perfect, strong, or fearless to deserve it. It's your birthright. It's already within you, written into your heart, waiting to be noticed, to be embraced. You carry it with you, even when life feels overwhelming, even when you feel lost. So today, pause, close your eyes, breathe. Not because it will make all your problems disappear, but because it will remind you of who you are beneath the noise, whole, worthy, and deeply at peace. The storm may rage around you, but inside, there's a calm that nothing can take away. And that's where you'll find yourself again. Right there, in the stillness, in the quiet, in the peace that was never gone, just waiting for you to come home.